And I'm Leo. Welcome back to Yoga with Lin and Leo.
And welcome to session 3 of our Complete Beginners series.
Yeah, so you're going to need a little bit of equipment. 4 foam pads, a belt and 2 bricks. I'm sitting on one, it's got the other one there. If you don't have the equipment, then you can make do with other items, folded blankets and so on, but really for the poses that we've got today, these will be very helpful.
Alright, so we're going to start our practice in Adho, Mukha, Svanasana, which is dog head down. Now, if you've been following our series for Complete Beginners, you would have seen that our previous Adho, Mukha, Svanasana would have been lifting your heels onto support. And now, this time, we're going to lift our hands.
So you can see that we haven't got a wall here because of the way that the camera is set up. If you were doing this, you would be doing this with your bricks to a wall. And I would stress that you do not do it the way that we're doing it. We're only doing it this way because of the requirements of the camera. And Lin is going to stand there and be my wall for me.
Alright, yes. So what you don't want to do is go sliding all over the place. So find your wall and have your bricks to your wall and then placing your hands. Now this will give you extra arm length, and this is really key when we're trying to get the extension through the spine. So remember, in yoga, we get to the spine from working the limbs, either rotating or flexing. This will help you to lengthen the whole of the body. So press down into your palms, tuck your toes under and come up. Adho, Mukha, Svanasana, dog head down. Now lift up through the centre of the body as much as you can. Press down into the wrists. See that the elbows are straight and locked, and pull up from the elbows all the way up into those shoulder sockets. So this is a really important action. Continue to lengthen through the side waist all the way to the buttocks. Now push those thigh bones away. So push into your bricks, which are against the wall, and go back strongly. And then we're going to bend the knees and release back down, recovering, flatten your feet, extend back into Adho, Mukha, VIrasana. So just be there for a few moments, take a few breaths, soft inhalation and exhalation. So we're going to change direction now. So we're coming back into a standing position, Trikonasana. So we have introduced this already in our practice, but stand on the mat and we will go through it again. So be in your Tadasana action, lift up through the centre of the body and continue to observe the extension from the base of the body, from the foot side, all the way through the body to the crown of the head, and breathe. Notice Leo's arms, you're extending those arms down, and as you extend those arms down, just see that you make an effort to lift the sternum chest, the breastbone, right here, that sternum chest area. It's got to lift up. Keep the gaze really nice and soft and facial features quiet. Now take your fingers to your chest and just be there for a moment. See that you're pushing the elbows away from one another and lifting up. Now jump in those legs wide. Turning your left foot in and your right foot out. Now straighten your legs and hinge over at the hip. So hinge over to your right side. Just put your right hand onto your hip to start with. Sorry, that's your left hand. So see that you reach from the outer hip all the way down this seam. As you can see here, all of this seam needs to push down right into the outer foot bone. And with that really strong stability, you can see if you can start to roll the torso so that you're turning a little. This will help you to keep a little bit more mobility in the shoulder. So when you take the arm up, you'll be able to extend straight up. Soft inhale and soft exhale. Keeping that front leg really nice and straight. And then extending back up, turning the feet and facing forward. Now lifting up through the centre of the body, turn your right foot in and the whole of your left foot and leg out. So notice how Leo softens her knees before she straightens the legs. So just have another look at that turning action. Let's rewind again. So turn the back foot in and the front leg turning out. See that softness and then coming up. Now this is quite an important way of working because not only do you soften the groin, that's when you trace the thigh from the inner thigh all the way up to the body itself, to the root of the body, but also in doing so you can get a direction of the leg. So as a complete beginner, you have to know a little bit of knowledge about this direction. These muscles in the thighs start to rotate. So you're going to move that top hip in, then lift up, hinge over to your left side, taking your hand down. And again, placing the hand onto the hip. Now, remember those seams? We're going to reach from that outer hip all the way down that leg seam until you hit the floor. You're going to press the energy right down into that outer foot bone. Roll your shoulders back and down, and then see that you lift up nicely. Go and see that you lift up. Soft inhale, soft exhale. And then taking a breath in and coming up. Turn the feet to face forward and bring the legs together. And stand in Tadasana. So we come to recover. When we come out of the poses, we just open all the channels by the direction of the alignment. As we explained in the front leg, we start to open the gateways. So see that now you digest some of that work. So be aware of the weight across the sole of the foot. See that you reach into the back heels. Lift your inner ankles up nicely, all the way through, right to the roots of the thighs. And from there, see if you can lift up through the centre of the body. This is an internal lift of the spine. Roll your shoulders back and down and lift your sternum chest. And now taking your hands to your chest. So we're going to go again, this time for Parsvakonasana. Now the legs need to jump a little bit wider in this pose, because you'll see why we're going to come into that angle. Now lift up through the centre of the body, turn your left foot in and your right foot out. And now bending your front leg into a square. Now this is always challenging. So be mindful that you're not dropping into your hip and you're not over pushing this frontal shin too much. It needs to be perpendicular from the ankle to the knee. And then rest the arm onto the thigh. Put your right hand onto the hip and roll your shoulders back and down. Keep that nice lift through the centre of the body. And remember those seams. We're going to reach from the outer hip all the way down to the outer foot bone. And now slide that right hand down onto your brick. Now you may be able to take your hand a little bit further by turning the brick a little bit more. But be sure, remember what we said in Trikonasana about moving that outer hip in. You've got to see this outer hip is moving in so that you are opening the front groin. Extending the top arm up. Now for those of you who've got stiff shoulders, then keep the arm in this position. Otherwise, you have to see that you rotate the arm in the socket and take the arm over the ear. So try not to drop the arm onto the ear, but be sharp, be really sharp. Remember those seams, outer seam to outer foot bone. Now, move the front body to the back body and extend up out of the pose. And turning the feet to face forward, reaching the arms out, lifting up, chest up, turn your right foot in and your left foot out. Keep that lift again throughout the centre of the body. Keep the legs straight before you go into the bent position. So just don't be tempted to keep that leg bent as you turn it. Come back to that straight position, because you have to see that you keep that lift as you then bend that front leg. So bend the front leg. And then rest the wrist onto the thigh. Pushing the backhand onto the hip. Now slowly taking your hand down. That's it. Slowly taking your hand down. Now roll your shoulder back and down. That's it. And breathe. Soft inhale and soft exhale. Now again, taking that hand up, reaching up, turning the arm, and then taking the arm over. Now again, reaching back into this back leg very strongly. You've got to see that you're creating that stability in the back of the pose, and breathe. That's the hardest thing. And then moving the front body to back body and extending up out of Parsvakonasana, turning the feet to face forward, and then when you're ready, jump those legs together. So if you find it difficult to jump, and some people do when they first start yoga, you can step the legs apart. That is fine also to practice. Stand in Tadasana, just find your breath, take the weight back into your heels, just be in this position, mountain pose. Let the shoulders completely release down, arms lengthening, and through the centre of the body, lift up. Soft inhale and soft exhale. We're going to change direction now. We're going to come down onto floor level. So you will need a belt handy for Supta Panagustasana 2. Now, we've experienced Supta Panagustasana 1 in the previous video, and now we're coming into another variation of this action. So as you can see here, Leo has the belt. We'll come over this side. And what's going to happen here is that we have to see that we lengthen through the centre of the body and then slowly take our spine to the floor. And just be in this position for a few moments. Now the legs are extending straight, so lifting the fronts of the feet and scrape the heels along the mat so that you can extend the legs strongly with a little bit of resistance. Now bending your right leg but keeping the left leg absolutely strong and straight, and taking the belt around the right foot. Now take it around the ball of the foot, and straighten the leg up to 90 degrees. So what you're aiming for with this action is to keep it at 90 degrees. So some people find that they want to do this action, but then the knee starts to bend. So we don't want that. And if you're in this position and the knee is still bent, then you need to take it a little bit out of line, as we explained previously. So taking the belt. Now the difference today is going to be that you're going to take the leg out to the side. So you're going to hold the belt in your right hand. Now I'm just going to get a foam pad, because we're going to place this pad to the outer hip so that the hips stay fairly grounded. Quite often this leg will be so heavy that you will roll the opposite hip towards it, and we don't want to do that. So keep the leg nice and straight, and then extend the leg out to the side. Now you can see, or you may not be able to see, but Leo has a hand on this straight leg, the downward leg. Now, if I let Leo go, quite often this will happen and she'll roll. So we don't want that, because this pose is about creating space in that lower abdominal area. So keep grounded with your left hip, your left thigh, your left leg. All of this needs to work really strongly. And then take the leg any amount. So you don't want to take the leg so much down that actually you're losing the essence of the action. So remember that. Extend into the ball of the foot, holding onto that belt and reaching into the belt, and then pull on the belt a little bit to create that traction, and then bring the leg back. Now Leo's going to turn herself around so that she can do the other side. So lying back to the floor again. And then go through that process of scraping your heels along the mat so that you're keeping that strength in those legs. So you want to keep that strength in the legs so much. Now bending your left leg and placing the belt around the ball of the foot. Extending the leg right up to 90 degrees. And now keeping that leg nice and straight, hold the belt with your left hand. With your left hand, reach up into the ball of the foot. Soft inhale, soft exhale. And now taking the leg over to the side. So remember what we were saying last time about that downward leg. It has to push down to extend into your heels so much, and then keep that right hip down to the floor. So you can see Leo's holding it down. So it's really important not to overextend this left leg. Keeping that action, keeping that extension, broadness and opening. And then bring the leg back and softening the knee to release the leg down. Well done. So you can repeat these leg exercises several times. We're just showing you the basic sequencing. So coming into a seated position, we're coming for a VIrasana action. So you've seen this before. We're coming into a kneeling position. So VIrasana is when we kneel between our feet, but what happens quite often is that when we kneel between our feet, then either the feet or the flexibility of the ankles restrict us a little way. So we're sitting on two foam pads. You can see this action. You can see that the inner feet, the inner edges of the feet are moving towards the inner edges of the foam pads. You see the toes are facing back, and encourage the toes to open and the little toe side to move down, and this will really give you a nice adjustment to the foot. We're going to show you Gomukasana action. So Leo's going to turn herself, no she's not, she's going to stay exactly where she is because you'll be able to see her back. Alright, so you can see that Leo's placing the belt around the shoulder, the right shoulder. We're going to move the left shoulder first, or the left arm. So reach the left arm out. And it's really important that these muscle fibers really lengthen. Nothing happens until they do. And then we have to roll in the shoulder itself, soften the elbow, and reach the palm between the shoulder blades. So you can see Leo manages this reasonably well. But quite often we find, particularly in the classes, so many people find this really challenging, really difficult. So hold on to the belt should you need it. It's just there, ready for you to hold on to. And then taking your right arm up, reaching up so much, lengthening, extending, opening, and then bending the elbow and extending. See if you can catch those fingers. So some of you will be able to catch the fingers, and some of you will need to hold on to the belt. And make sure that you're getting length in the collarbones, and if you can, roll the shoulder back. So that's quite a strong action if you're stiff, so save that on for when you become a little bit more pliable. And just hold for a few breaths, keeping the breadth and broadness in the collarbones and keeping the lift through the centre of the body. And then release it. So we come to the other side now, lifting up, taking the belt to the other side if you need it, and then taking your right arm and placing it between your shoulder blades. So you might find that one arm is easier than the other. So we quite often find this with our bodies, that one side will be a lot stronger. Extend your left arm up reaching up, right up into the fingertips, and then softening the elbow and either catching your fingers or catching the belt and lifting up so much through the center of the body. And take a few breaths again, soft inhale, exhale. See that the collarbones are broadening and opening, and you're getting that lift through the center of the body. And then we're going to release. So these arm exercises are really important for our next pose. So coming out carefully of your VIrasana. So you're going to lift up and take the legs to the side. We'll take these foam pads. Alright, so we're coming for Setu, Bandha, Savasana. This is a challenging one now. So we're going to start off with a couple of foam pads. We've got 4 foam pads here. So you do need to have a little bit of height. It's a little bit difficult to do this pose without any equipment. So I'm sorry about that for those of you who haven't quite got your equipment yet. I guess you could use a few cushions, but it wouldn't quite be the same, really.
If you've got 4 books that are the same size, big books that are about A4 size, or even actually 4 reams of paper might work, 4 reams of A4 paper, that might work if you could stack them, you know, you could get them stacked like that.
Yes. Oh, computer paper would do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Perfect. So 4 of those, couple. Anyway, we'll leave you to work that one out. So lying on your back, and you're just going to lift your pelvis and place these foam pads underneath your pelvis. You can see. We're going 1, and just letting the back broaden, spread and open, and then we go again. So this may be as far as you can go with your back action, and now we're going to go again. Lifting up. So don't worry if this is too much to do to start with. You can build up to this. Some of you will be able to do it, and some of you will find it quite challenging. So you're lifting up again and extending. Okay, good. Now you can see Leo is in this position. You have to see that you grip your mat and walk your fingers along your mat and roll your shoulders back and down. So you're getting this really nice opening in your chest. Keeping that lift through the centre of the body, rolling the shoulders back and down, keeping the opening in the upper body region. And remember to breathe. This is very important. A soft inhalation and exhalation. So this is an ideal pose to passively open that upper body region, but also to get breadth and space in your pelvis. So it can touch some of those deeper areas within the back, the lower back and the pelvis. So if you find that going on 4 is a little bit too much, the 4 foam pads, as you can see Leo practicing here, then just start with 1 or 2 foam pads. When you come out of the action, then you need to lift the pelvis. You can see Leo is lifting onto the tops of her toes here and just gradually releasing down. You can see that Leo's just settling her back for a few moments, softening her abdomen, and then lifting up again, removing, just letting the abdomen soften. We're going to do it again, and this time you might be able to take both of those foam pads out and slowly move the tailbone towards the heels as you're in this position. I just want you to stay in this bent leg Shavasana. You can roll your arms so that palms face uppermost, and move these foam pads out of the way so Leo has that really nice calmness around it. So remember, if you've got equipment touching your fingers or your arms in any way, just move it out the way. Soften around the facial features. This pose will give you the opportunity to scan and to release any tensions. Let the jawline completely soften and release. Release the throat. Release the abdomen. Just settle in this pose. So you can stay in this pose for as long as you wish to. It might be worthwhile just putting your timer on. So if you have a time limit you need to keep to, then you can just put your timer on 5 to 10 minutes just to completely settle and to release. We're going to leave you in your Savasana. We hope you enjoyed our routine today, and if you like our channel then do press the like button or even subscribe. Namaste.